All right, what is up, tycoons? What's up, traders? Super excited for today's video. We have big news coming in the energy sector. Saudi Arabia will cut oil production by 500,000 barrels a day from May to December in coordination with some other OPEC and non-OPEC countries. So I'm going to go over this. I've actually been making a lot of videos concerning energy here recently. Make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel so that way you guys don't miss out on any of the charts as well as the news and data that's coming out constantly, whether it's energy, natural gas, and different things like that. Okay. Now, of course, the content provided in this YouTube channel is for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended to be relied upon as legal, financial, or investment advice. I'm not a registered financial advisor or broker. Trading in stocks, bonds, commodities, crypto involves a significant risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. So make sure to read through the whole disclaimer. We're going to get straight into the video now. And I actually just recently made a video, maybe a week or two ago, talking about how Warren Buffett bought billions and billions of dollars of energy, right, in energy stocks. And if you take a look here, there's a headline here from March 18th, Warren Buffett, BlackRock, and Goldman Sachs, three of the largest and most well-known investment people and agencies and firms, right? They find energy stocks irresistible, even as 2023 proves another turbulent year for the market. All right. Now, what's super interesting about this is that now we're getting the news that oil production is about to be cut. So what I did is I did what anybody else would do is I went to Google and I also went to ChatGPT, guys, because I have ChatGPT Pro. I have the new ChatGPT. So we're going to take a look at what Google says and then compare it to what ChatGPT says. And I asked Google, does cutting oil production raise prices? And according to Google, experts expect gas prices to jump 15 to 30 cents per gallon. OPEC's decision to cut production, scheduled to start in November, is expected to cause gas prices at the pump to jump again. Now, this was in the past, okay? But if you take a look at some of the past articles from 2022, okay, they kind of just go in of how OPEC is making these sharp production cuts. And ultimately, it's to boost prices, right? They do these production cuts to boost prices. The price will increase as much as 40 cents. Here it says 15 to 30 cents per gallon. So, it kind of varies. But in general, when they're cutting these oil production, typically it's to boost the prices, right? And so what I did was I actually went to ChatGPT and I asked them, how does cutting 500,000 barrels a day affect oil and gas prices? And here ChatGPT goes in depth. And I also asked it about any possible investments as well over here to the right. So we'll get to that in just a second. But it can have several impacts on oil and gas prices, both in the short term and long term. It's important to note that the specific effects may vary depending on the global economic situation, geopolitical factors, and market dynamics at the time of the cut. Generally, the following effects can be observed. One is going to be increased oil prices. Number two, gas prices may rise. Number three is going to be volatility in the market. Number four is going to be incentives for alternative energy sources. And number five is going to be an impact on the global economy. Now, it's important to note that the overall effect of OPEC's production cuts on oil and gas prices will depend on how other oil-producing countries such as the US and Russia respond to the cuts, as well as the overall strength of the global economy and demand for oil. Now, after that, right, I went straight over to ChatGPT again, and I said, what are some of the hypothetical investments you could make to profit off of OPEC cutting oil production in the stock market? And so if you believe that OPEC cutting oil production will lead to higher oil prices, there are several investment strategies you could consider to potentially profit from this situation. Some of these strategies include oil and gas companies, right? So investing in shares of oil and gas companies, particularly those with strong production capabilities and low production costs, can be a way to benefit from rising oil prices. These companies may see increased revenues and profitabilities as oil prices increase. Number two is going to be oil and gas ETFs, right? Which those are exchange traded funds. All right. In particular, we're going to look at XLE in this video, which is the energy sector of the S&P 500. There's also VDE, which is the Vanguard Energy ETF, and the iShares US Oil Gas Exploration Production ETF, which is IEO. So feel free to check out any of those. You can also trade the oil futures, right? So, futures is a really good way to trade things. You can hop into the futures market. You can trade oil related stocks. You can trade inverse ETFs. Okay. So, you can basically bet on some of the inverse ETFs. However, those are riskier and can lead to significant losses if your prediction is incorrect. And number 6 is going to be call options, right? And so buying call options on oil related stocks or ETFs can provide leveraged exposure to potential increases in oil prices. And that's something, that I'm going to be looking at is, I'm going to be looking at things like XLE, maybe some individual energy stocks as well, to potentially make some profit. Now, at the time of this recording, I'm not currently in any positions. I actually did get into XLE call options, right around the time that I made my last video. And I was able to sell those for a short profit, or for a small profit rather, nothing, amazing, no 100% gains or anything like that. But, I wanted to free up some cash surrounding PCE and heading into PCE. I didn't want to be very heavy into a bunch of different call options. So I closed about 80% of my positions when it comes to options. And now I have some cash to, look at what things that I think are overvalued, what things do I think are undervalued, and where potentially there are opportunities, such as in oil and gas right now, based off of this news. So if you guys want to join the Discord with us where you can get all of our entries and exits, okay, as well as a plethora of resources. We're talking about dark pool activity, we're talking about insider trading. For instance, Walmart has had tons and tons and tons of insider trading, specifically on the sell side, okay. Insiders are dumping massive amounts of shares. So I'm going to be really interested in Walmart as well, to see what happens, and we have the next round of earnings season coming up. It'll be really interesting to see if this insider selling and this large amount of insider selling in Walmart is a clue into some of the future price action, and if they think Walmart stock is going to go lower. Now, on top of those, we also have a sweeps channel, a golden sweeps channel, to see large institutional option trading and sweep orders that come through. All right. There's really just so much. There's a stock bot in there that you can use that stock bot to find out any information you want about a particular stock, such as the PE ratio. You can look at the short sales. You can look at many, many different things. So it's not just a place where there's call outs and things like that. It's much more. It's a positive trading environment. We have new members joining all the time. Right, and even our new members are even making profit, right? I posted a screenshot on the my YouTube channel on the community post. One of our newer members joined in the past week or two. They were able to get a very nice trade up 180% trading SPY options. We really all crushed it on Friday. Many people doubled their account as a whole, right? We had one person started off with $300 and now they're at $1,800 in that account. So if you guys want to join, the link is in the description down below. If you use code Zackley, like the channel name Zackley Trades, okay, just all lowercase, nothing special, you guys can get a discount on your membership. And if you join, shoot me a DM, send me a friend request, let me know who you are, that you're from the YouTube channel, and I'll go ahead and DM you back and help you guys get started on your journey in the Discord, okay? Now, when it comes to XLE specifically, this is the XLE daily chart, all right? And so we had this bearish channel here that I highlighted in the last video, and you can see we broke below this bearish channel. And to me, this looks like a liquidity grab, right? And we talked about how Goldman Sachs, how BlackRock, how Warren Buffett, all of these large high net worth and really people trading in the billions of dollars, a lot of times you can see what's known as a liquidity grab, okay, where you essentially you break this range right here, and ultimately, let's say they're trying to push things up higher, but there's not enough liquidity in this area down here, right? And so what they have to do is a lot of time they have to trigger people's stop losses and make a sharp move downwards, so that way they can be on the buying end of those stop losses, right? Anytime you get stopped out and sell a position, there's always someone else on the other side. You have to think about that, right? So who are the people that's actually buying them? A lot of time it's market makers, and a lot of times they can also be institutions as well. Financial institutions or hedge funds, investment firms, things like that, not necessarily just market makers. So, to me, this looked like a big liquidity grab here. We did have this gap down to fill that I mentioned in the last video. We did fill that gap. We did not fill our lower gap down to the $73 region on XLE. But overall, we still have this bearish channel. If this is a look below and fail, okay, which is what it's kind of looking at right now. The reason that that would be significant is because at this point in time here, bears are really presented the full opportunity to come up, reject this trend line, and push price lower, right? They're literally given the perfect opportunity to go short, go heavy on shorts, and really push price lower. But rather, a look below and fail is going to be significant because it shows that bulls are the ones who are actually in control, even though bears were fully presented the opportunity to drive price lower. They did not take advantage of that opportunity, and rather bulls stepped in and are driving price back up. Okay, if this is going to play out and XLE is going to continue being bullish, we're going to head up towards the top half of this channel, which is going to be this white dotted line right here. And there is a potential we could break out from there and head towards the top of this bearish channel. Overall, if we want to make new highs, okay, 94.85 is going to be my breakout level. And, over the next year or coming months, there is potential if we get past this breakout level that we have some bullish price targets up here of 103 as well as 108. So I'm going to be watching XLE closely. If you take a look on your MACD, you can see here that we actually just got an entry signal. That's when this red line crosses above the blue line. Okay, and that happened over here as well. And then you can see we had a nice push up to the top of this bearish channel. So it is possible, if that wants to play out the same as it did, we could see this thing curl back up, continue heading in an upwards direction, and we could head back up towards the top of this bearish channel. Okay, we have a lot of resistance here at 84.88. Also right near the top of the middle of this bearish channel. So I would expect some type of resistance around this area, and it could be a point where things head back down for sure. Now, one scenario you could look at this is we have a left shoulder, we have a head, and let's say we come up to that 84, 85 region, hit some resistance, get a small pullback, and then we actually break out. Okay, then that would be a nice inverse head and shoulders that we could possibly have forming here. We don't really have it fully formed. We just have a left shoulder and a head, but you always want to think ahead of some of the possible scenarios that, ultimately the market makers and institutions and hedge funds could be looking to play things out on when it comes to XLE. So that's it for today's video. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you guys are interested, I do one-on-one Zoom sessions. Okay, so if you want a private one-on-one Zoom session, you can email me at zackleytrades@gmail.com. And I'll email you back. We can go over some of the details and possibly looking at setting up a 30-minute or 1-hour session, privately for you guys via Zoom.